The fact that neural territory is not just gained through practice, but lost through neglect. This is not a passive process. It's active. The cortex is the zero-sum real estate market. When one function expands, neighboring functions contract. When one circuit is practiced, competing circuits are suppressed. In Taub's stroke patients, the healthy arm colonized the territory of the damaged one. In Nestler's addiction research, the drug-seeking circuit expanded at the expense of circuits for natural reward, decision-making, and impulse control. In Nui's mental imagery study, the brain couldn't tell the difference between real and imagined practice, meaning that the mental rehearsal of maladaptive patterns is just as effective at strengthening pathological circuits as mental rehearsal of adaptive ones is at strengthening healthy circuits. This means every moment of rumination is a workout for your anxiety circuit. Every replayed argument is a training session for your anger pathway. Every craving fantasy is imagined exercise for your addiction. The 22% finding cuts both ways. The evolutionary function. Why is plasticity built this way? From an evolutionary perspective, competitive plasticity is a feature, not a bug. In ancestral environments, neural real estate was too expensive to maintain circuits that weren't being actively used. If a skill or behavior wasn't practiced, it was probably no longer relevant to survival. And the metabolic cost of maintaining its neural infrastructure was wasted energy. Better to reallocate those neurons to whatever the organism was actually doing. This is why childhood language acquisition has a critical period. If certain linguistic circuits aren't activated by a specific age, their cortical territory is claimed by other functions and the window closes. It's why musicians who stop practicing experience measurable shrinkage of the cortical areas devoted to their instrument. It's why astronauts in microgravities show rapid reorganization of their vestibular and proprioceptive cortex. It's why astronauts in microgravity show rapid reorganization of their vestibular and It's why astronauts in microgravity show rapid reorganization of the vestibular and proprioceptive cortex. The brain is ruthlessly efficient. It invests only in what's used, and it actively dismantles what isn't. This served our ancestors beautifully in environments where behavioral demands were relatively stable and circuits needed to be optimized for the specific ecology they inhabited. But in the modern world, where our environment changes faster than our biology can adapt, where novel addiction superstimuli hijack reward circuits, or chronic stress keep deep. But in the modern world, where our environment changes faster than our biology can adapt, where novel addictive superstimuli hijack reward circuits, where chronic stress keeps threat detection pathways perpetually active, where sedentary lifestyles allow motor circuits to atrophy, competitive plasticity becomes a liability. The brain's greatest strength becomes its greatest vulnerability. Psychological impacts. Here's what this means for you practically. If you spend 3 hours a day on social media and 30 minutes a day in focused creative work, competitive plasticity isn't neutral about this ratio. The social media circuits, dopaminergic rewards, novelty seeking, social comparison, rapid attentional switching, are being strengthened at the direct expense of the circuits you need for deep focus, sustained attention, and creative synthesis. It's not just that you're not practicing focus. It's that the brain is actively reallocating the neural territory that focus requires to the circuits that scrolling demands. This is why it gets harder to concentrate the more you scroll. Not just while you're scrolling, but in general. The difficulty isn't a temporary distraction effect. It's a structural reorganization. You're not failing to focus. You've trained your brain to be excellent at something else. Rapid switching, shallow processing, dopamine seeking. And those expanded circuits are competing with and suppressing the deep focus circuits you're trying to use. The same logic applies to anxiety. Chronic worry isn't just a psychological habit. It's a neural workout. Every cycle of ancient rumination strengthens the amygdala prefrontal circuit that generates worry, grows its dendritic connections, makes it more effective, and through competitive plasticity, suppresses the circuits for emotional regulation and cognitive flexibility that would otherwise dampen the anxiety response. Neurons that fire together wire together, but neurons that wire together also outcompete their neighbors. That's the paradox.